Go straight to the Leader of the Opposition, Right Honourable Dr. Denzil Douglas. Good day, sir. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. So, you've just heard the initial presentation of the national budget, $952.2 million, and you've heard the breakdown and the allocations and the general rationale to those allocations. What are your thoughts generally?
Well, there are some explanations which I will seek when I respond to the budget tomorrow. There is a significant increase in public expenditure, especially in terms of salaries. Of course, the Prime Minister has explained that he would have brought persons who are on the PEP or STEP over into the public service, and this, I believe, will be responsible for some of the increases that we're seeing. But I think there is need for further explanations, especially since this was a commitment that was given to be implemented in the 2021 budget. And so it's a repeat. We want to make sure that that is the only reason for the allocation, the increased allocation. The investment in agriculture, I am not certain if I picked up much on that particular sector, but I would have expressed my own concerns with regard to the relatively low level of agricultural production against the backdrop of there being, it would appear, a global food shortage, and especially the difficulties that we're having with international transportation in particular. So these are some of the concerns. The education sector and the need to ensure that innovation and creativity, that they be the hallmarks in particular if we are going to really realize the potential from the digital economy and the digital changes that are taking place globally. I would want to make sure that adequate allocation would have been made in this particular sector. I know to a large extent that the cable has been loaded in terms of its commitment towards this. Of course, I'm sure that other telecom providers, Flow, for example, and so forth, I hope that they too are on board to ensure that there is a full island-wide coverage for both St. Kitts and Nevis, so that our students can benefit in this regard. It's a new reality that we're living in. It is no longer, as we are now saying, recovering from. There's nothing to recover from. We just have to make sure that we make the necessary adjustments accordingly so that we can live with the realities of life.
Indeed. Were there any specific elements that you personally were hoping would have been addressed?
Well, there have been concerns, as I would have said, about the agricultural sector. I'm still to see greater support for the more creative industries. Young people, not only young people, but they need to be different. They need to be doing things differently. They need to ensure that intellectual property and support for entertainment, etc., that these are embedded in the economy in going forward. And I believe that one of the best ways to ensure that this is achieved is by the public sector to lead and thus have the private sector supported accordingly. The incentivization is another area that I wanted to hear much about. How much incentives are being provided to ensure that we can move in this new direction in building the economy. I'm glad that the difficulties that have been expressed with regard to the caging of our visitors at Port Zante, that has been recognized and it has been removed. I think it augurs well, therefore, for a tourist industry that should be in a position to grow and develop further, knowing where I left it in 2015. I really think it should now thrive and go by leaps and bounds once these difficulties have been removed.
Well, thank you very much for speaking with us, and I'm sure we're going to be hearing more from you in your presentation tomorrow.
Of course.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.